Hey cats, what's happening? It's your old friend Itchy with another story. I realize that I'm going to be called a poser, that, where do you come up with this stuff, that you're full of it. I've heard that before, but I tell you this. Everything, these stories that I'm telling, it all happened. It's all for real. I don't make this stuff up. Man. I lived it. And as wacky and as odd as the stories are, that's the way it happened. I'm telling you as honestly as I can't make this stuff up. I really can't. Anyway, it was probably about 20 years ago when I was pretty heavily into the biker culture. And I used to always hang out at the biker bar. That was probably about 10 miles from here. And it was a big thing back then. When you pulled up to the bar, all the Harleys were lined up in front of the bar. Everybody had their spot. And in there was a couple of brothers that were bikers, and they started their own club. It started out pretty small with just a tight-knit group of guys. And there was probably, I think, about 4 of what you would call the originals, although I was hanging with them quite a bit during that time. We rode everywhere, and when I say that, we rode out to Sturgis, South Dakota. We rode other places in the country. We hit the East Coast. So, I did a lot of touring with these guys, and we rode all the time. Either it be a weekday, a weeknight, or weekends, whenever they called, I was with them. So, but I was never like a full-fledged member at that time. I guess I was kind of like a probe on probation. Anyway, they approached me one day and they said, "How would you like to be a member of our club?" And I don't know, I thought, I've always been independent. I never liked to be a member of a club. I've been around them. I know how they are. I know how the rules are, what's expected of you, the whole church thing. And, but I didn't want to play a dick move on them either and say, "No, I don't want to be in your club." So I said, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And so they told me, they said, "Okay, Thursday night, be up here at the bar, and we will see you there. We'll take care of business." So I was good with that. Thursday night came, and I think I got up to the bar a little early. It was probably a little after 6:30 when I arrived up there. Parked my bike in front of the door, walked in, and there was just a small handful of regulars in there. It was not much of a biker crowd at all, if any. But I took a seat up at the bar and ordered a beer and nursed that beer. Well, 7 o'clock came and 7 o'clock went, and there was nobody that came from the club. Every time the front door opened, and somebody walked in, I expected to see these cats strolling in there, but it wasn't them. There was a biker couple that came in for a couple shots, and then they left, and there was an old timer that strolled in there so he could have his evening beer at the bar and BS with his buddies, and I just sat there and killed time, talked to the barmaid and stuff. She was going about her regular business, but every once in a while she'd go over and answer the phone, and she'd be talking on the phone, and I'd see her glance over at me sometimes, and I thought, what the heck's going on here, And then I'd say, "Hey, did you hear anything? Are they coming up here or what?" She'd say, "Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard anything." So finally, it was almost 9 o'clock, and I told her, I said, threw my money down on the bar, and I said, "All right, I'm out of here. I'm not going to sit here all night. If they didn't show up when they said they were, I'm gone." So I left. The following night was Friday. Now, Friday was always a big night at the bar, and I was up there just like everybody else. The club was there. They had their table up towards the front where the dance floor is. They had a round table up there, and they always sat up there at that round table. That was their place. Nobody else could sit there. And if you did sit there, you'd be kindly asked to leave because that was the club's table. And I probably could have sat at the club table without any problem, but I never did, just out of respect for the originals, you know. I just wanted to play my cards straight with them. So I sat up at the bar and had my back to the table where they were. Well, it was later that evening. I got a tap on the shoulder. I turned around and somebody took a shot of Jack Daniels and threw it right in my eyes. I don't know if you've ever had whiskey thrown in your eyes, but boy, does that sting. Alcohol in your eyes, I'm telling you right now, it stung so bad, and I couldn't see anything. Well, next thing I know, they were 3 or 4 guys on me, and they were dragging me out the back door. At the same time, they were stuffing bottles of beer down in my pants and my jeans, you know, and they got me out back, and they threw me in a lawn chair and tied me up to the lawn chair with a garden hose. They told me they'd be back. I don't know. I could have probably gotten out if I wiggled enough, but I thought, okay, this is the initiation. Just chill out. Just hang loose. You know, don't try and pull anything. And what they did is they went in the bar and they were going to get this other guy. There was this great big dude called Oz. He was a big, handsome fella, and they assumed that he wanted to be a member, so they were going to initiate him too, and they had a cheer for him. Well, Oz was throwing them off like flies. I mean, he was a strong dude, and they couldn't hold him down. Well, the struggle came out back there where I was, and they were trying to wrestle him down, but he just kept punching and swinging and throwing him off, and he was cursing up a storm. He said, I don't want to be in your club. I never asked for that. I don't want no part of it. Just leave me alone. Of course, there was a lot of cursing and carrying on going with it. Well, after that scuffle, they finally let him go. And he went back in the bar, gathered up his stuff, and packed up and left. And by then, it kind of took the wind out of their sails, so they came back out and they untied me and they said, whatever, dude, you're in. They gave me the secret handshake and the initiation rites and said, you're now an official. Not that meant a whole lot. They didn't have any colors, any rocker or anything at that time. And they said the one thing they did have was a club tattoo, and they had the blueprint for that, or the tattoo for that, and you had to have that exact, stencil to get that tattoo. Otherwise, it was no good. So they said, well, we'll get you the stencil, we'll take you down, we'll get you tattooed up. That never happened. It just never happened. I'm not sure why. I don't know if they just didn't want to take the time. They weren't serious enough about it. They changed their mind. I don't know. But I continued to hang with them and do a lot with them. But I did ask them about that Thursday night when I sat there all night by myself. And they told me, they said, we were sitting like a mile down the road at the next bar. And we were on the phone with the barmaid, and she was telling us what you were doing the whole time, and we were laughing our butts off. So, what could I say? But the joke was on me. I did what I was told to do. And as it panned out, I don't even know where that club is today. I don't know if there's any of them still active or if they fizzled out, because I went through some huge issues and found out that some of them, weren't really brothers. I think I've told you this before, stealing and robbing you blind, among other things. So that's the story about the initiation. You know, didn't have to have any fingers cut off or toes. Didn't have bamboo sticks shoved under my fingernails. Didn't burn me with cigarettes. They didn't pee on me. They may have if things would have gone the way they wanted it to, but I think their plans kind of fizzled that night. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I know it may sound like I made this stuff up. No, it really, really happened. That was it. That was my initiation to the biker club. So anyway, it's going to be a big weekend coming up. We're going to do some more camping, enjoy life. It's the Labor Day weekend. It's a long weekend. It's going to be a 4-day weekend for me, buddy. And V and I are going to pack up tomorrow and hook up the rig and head east and over towards the Pennsylvania border. We'll be camping over there for the weekend, and we're looking forward to it. You know, we love that R&R, sitting around a campfire, just chilling and just getting away from everything. So anyway, cats, good to see you. I like that you're tagging along with me. I appreciate that. Like my videos, comment on them, feel free, good or bad. You know, if you think I'm a poser, let me know. Whatever, everybody's open to their viewpoints, you know. I try to let everything slide. I'm not going to let it bother me, whatever. If it gets real obnoxious, delete, I hit the button. But most of the stuff I leave on there if it isn't too nasty. It is what it is. If you haven't watched me before, please subscribe. Click the subscribe button. Look at the channel. There's tons of videos out there to watch. Enjoy. And we'll be getting some more up for you regularly. We aim to please. We aim to entertain. So until next time, cats, you know what I say. Ride hard and die free, brother.